This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop for you, the pit crew. You guys are the real star of today's show because we are here to talk about sim racing, and we love doing that. I was going to say each and every day, but that reminds me, and pointed out in the chat, this is the first week of our new schedule, which is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the pit stops. No Tuesday and Thursday edition. You know, in December, things slow down. Also, I want to, trim the fat and talk more in depth about things that we care about the most instead of just going on and on and on, extending out the show. So we're just trying to make it so it's a little more important than it used to be, I think is the best thing. Happy Monday to everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you got out there and got some races in. I sure did. I got a few good races in this weekend. We'll talk about that at the end of the show as well. So what is going on in the world of sim racing today? And this came in Friday after we finished the show, but no Simpit announcement in your email. It's so weird. I wish I had better control over the announcements, John Hill. I have no control. I post the show. I make it live. It was made live an hour ago. I posted on Twitch. Maybe you should try Twitch. Maybe, I know people use Twitch, have great results, and there are times where, for some reason, it's not working on the YouTube side of things, but it is working on Twitch. We are live simultaneously on Twitch and YouTube every time we go live. Anyway, Forza Week in review, talking about new automobiles. And again, Forza's cool. They have this new, autumn or seasonal challenge going on. Just taking advantage of some of the cool aspects of Forza Horizon. The multiple seasons is kind of cool. Transitions, that's something we'll talk about more about today. But anyway, they have the latest, greatest going on there. Ooh, and they look at this time attack type car. 84 Peugeot 205 Turbo 16 Forza Edition. We can get in arguments over how to say Forza or Forza. Forza. Anyway, their Photoshop contest, all that kind of stuff. So you'll find that at the Forza website. They're one of the cool ones who actually use their website properly and constantly. ForzaMotorsport.net for information on that one. Find out what's going on there and all the things you can get. Tokyo Expressway. This is one of the events that was run in the FIA GTC Championship. And here's a hot lap that was put out on the 1st. So some of this, again, came in on Friday after we were off the air. But what we're looking at is none other than Igor Fraga taking a hot lap at Tokyo Expressway. So now, help me, you Gran Turismoites. Wasn't Tokyo Expressway a track from a previous version of Gran Turismo that was not included in GT Sport? Isn't that what we're looking at? So, and then the question for all you real GT Gran Turismo fans or lovers, is this one-for-one identical? Or is it an upgraded version of Tokyo Expressway South Loop? Anyway, but this video is Igor Fraga showing you the way around and how to get it done. So, very cool video there, and you'll find that at the YouTube page for Gran Turismo TV. That was Tokyo 248. Yep, see, that's a little over my head. I've driven every one, but to act like my knowledge and wisdom on Gran Turismo is like factual would be misstating things quite a bit. Formula 1 game, they have a patch now for the PC version, soon coming on the PS4 and the Xbox One, so this is patch 1.15, now live on the PC as of 5 hours ago, in GT6 perhaps. Yeah, shipping is so brutal in that's something I think some people in the United States take for granted, is they don't realize just how expensive it is to get things to certain countries for various different reasons, shipping, tariffs, importing fees, all sorts of different reasoning. But we have it pretty darn good here. Bring back Tokyo Extreme Racing, says RTA. This is a totally different track, different part of Tokyo. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim, very much. There we go. So it's not the same. It's just sort of reminiscent in naming, I suppose. Anyway, they have a couple of images. Not that we really need images to go along with a patch, but continuing to make things better. I mean, they're constantly updating even a console-based type sim for the most part. I mean, it is the PC version leading the way right now with patch 1.15. Safety, rating, and skill rank should no longer reset on Xbox One. That sounds specific to a different system. Fix several issues where spectators and players could get stuck in perpetual load state. Safety car, no longer trigger after flashback, fixed an issue. Anyway, a whole bunch of changes and updates to F1 2018. Fond memories of Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero. It's the VAT. Yeah, the VAT is another thing. Anyway, I do feel bad for people who complain about the pricing of various products trying to get it there. This is a big week for iRacing. We've talked about what's coming. We talked about the Formula Renault 3.5. We've talked about the Roval version of Charlotte. We've talked about Scuba. And we've even talked about the day-to-night transitions, all scheduled to be in this current update, which should be happening, gosh, as soon as tomorrow. I mean, we're really there. We are at a very, very significant build. I mean, iRacing does 4 builds a year. In those builds are a variety of different updates and changes. Some of them are smaller than others. This one happens to be a tremendously large build. This shouldn't be this could be a game changer for iRacing to an extent when you look at like the day-to-night transitions, the main one. Formula Renault, that's cool, but it's sort of a redundant car. The Roval, that's cool because it makes it more current, and honestly, it'll be a better version of Charlotte to drive. And the Scuba, having a new track is always awesome. That's always awesome, but it's also going to come at a fee. The day-to-night transitions is part of the sim. It's part of the sim getting better. iRacing holding themselves to a standard, like it or not, holding themselves to a certain tire model standard. How will that react to cooler temperatures? How will it react to track build-up simultaneous to a cooling track or a warming track? It is going to be really interesting. You think about endurance racing is one of my favorite things to do. We've been doing endurance racing and iRacing for many years at this point. Uh-oh, what's Brandon saying? Yeah, and thank you. I right now I'm pretty much announcing the 2019 endurance team. So this is going to be patron only. You know, I have the link to patron group in the description of the show. Patron is where the hardcore Simpit pit crew guys hang out. We're on Discord. We arrange racing. And in this case, we're now really getting ready or gearing up for the 2019 endurance season. And you saw some of our races. We did 2 races last year. Had a great opener or warm-up. So expecting good things from the team. And we're going to start pulling that all together. You're going to see some of our practices. Certainly going to see our races. We're even working on secondary streams and a whole bunch of cool stuff below, behind the scenes. But this is going to be really cool. Doing it a 24-hour race and having it start in the day and go through night and finish in the day is going to really be awesome. I mean, visually speaking, that's something that's really been missing when you're running in the wee hours of the morning and you're running on daylight. The other thing about it is, what about headlights? Headlights are going to be a factor. What about crashes? So when you get some damage, at what point do you lose your lighting? And is that going to send you to pit lane for extensive repair? Anyway, I don't want to underplay just how huge this update really is. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for sure. All right, what else out of iRacing? You'd think that'd be enough, but no, there's more to talk about in iRacing. iRacing and Porsche are excited to announce the Porsche Sim Racing Summit in Leipzig, Germany. Once again in Germany. Do I have to move to Germany to properly sim race or cover sim racing? Qualify and compete for 30,000 euro in cash prizes. You can learn more about the event here. So they have a whole link here. Porsche Sim Racing Summit, a gathering of the world's fastest sim racers. Mitchie, you here? You going after it? George Sandman, you gonna go after it? There's some guys that come to mind that we hang out with every day. Brendan Lay, are you going to go beyond F1 2018 now that that season is over? Or are you already in training for next season? Anyway, lots of prizes, how to qualify, all the details are there. And just to give you an idea, I mean, how big a tournament is that? Who would show up for such a tournament? Sage Karam would show up for such a tournament. 1,626 laps. I want to talk about that. Give me one moment. Dan, we sure do. We're working on it. We're working on it. So, yes, they are still playing on AI. I don't think that's in this build, or we probably would have been hearing more about it. But Sage Karam talking about 1,626 laps. My point is, anybody given enough laps can get themselves where they need to be. I mean, come on. You can perfect and perfect and perfect and walk away and come back and perfect. But 1,626 laps in 2 days, currently sitting 22nd on the iRacing Porsche Summit Challenge. 30 drivers get invited to the headquarters to drive against each other, pushing like crazy. Think I'm not committed to becoming a driver? Anyway, I think that says it all. That post by Sage Karam says it all. And any of you could probably surprise yourself if you put that kind of time and effort into such a thing. So there you go. Motivation. Motivational Monday. RFactor 2, at the beginning of the month, they always have their roadmap. I love this, how for, once a month, Studio 397 releasing a roadmap, giving you an idea what's going on behind the scenes, what's coming out or came out, or what they're working on. They're talking about the McLaren Shadow semifinals. We'll talk a little bit more about that. RFactor 2 at Inter Classics, so just a write-up on some stuff they're doing there. Talking about the Vive Pro McLaren Limited Edition, Build 1112, and some of the updates that are in part of that. Software wheel rotation explained, work in progress stuff. Oh, look at the McLaren 650S McLaren. Deserve an update on the Tatis license. Is that Tatis? How do you say that? Anyone? Can anyone show me or say? Sage is a cool dude. It's, it's tough to get a break in racing sometimes. Really, I mean, that's the bottom line. You can have all the talent in the world, but sometimes it takes more than that. It takes luck. It takes connections. It takes who your parents are in some cases. All right, anyway, update on 6 different models. Winter is coming, bringing some very cool toys to play with in Christmas. So who knows what that means coming out of Studio 397 and RFactor 2. Yes, KA, thank you, Amir. If you enjoy the channel and content, subscribe and hit the like button. Of course, please. Thank you. Please. Yes, that Porsche thingy, I got my E wrong, Heiko, is in iRacing. Top 30. You could do it. Heiko, you got the skills. You got the talent. Can you put in 1,626 laps to get 22nd on the board and knock Sage back to 23rd? Speaking of hot lap type competitions, this is kind of a cool addition that has just come out, or they've just enabled, I should say, for Raceroom, and that being the time attack ranking. Read everything about it on their forums, and then they have a link here where you can see the competitions going on. So they have a GT4, GTR4, GTR3, WTCR, FRJR, and GTR2 competitions, all with clocks running, so about 1 week on all of these in a time attack mode, which is just a cool leaderboard. Show me where you run. We got a lot of people running Raceroom, so go attack one of these. Send me a screenshot of where you are on the leaderboard, and I will make you the real star of tomorrow's show. Just news, Jimmy Broadbent is now officially going to be a writer, apparently, for GT Planet. So they're supposed to hear Jimmy announcing himself to that crowd and audience, and he will be there talking about various different topics in the Gran Turismo world. He talks about how he kind of went from general gaming to being more focused on Gran Turismo and the surprise of being asked to be the announcer at the World Finals that they had done and all that stuff. So, cool write-up on Jimmy, and if you want to hear from him, at least in the text form, I should say, which is different, I guess, he'll be writing for GT Planet. So, kudos to all of them for putting that together. This is an odd one here. So, at the Fanatic.com blog, you will find the latest posting, the Advent Calendar 2018. And I spent quite a bit of time, as I told you, I was going to take a little more time knowing what I'm talking about on these Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And when we say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I just want to point out, in a few weeks, the Friday edition is going to turn Sim Tunnel. And it's going to be hosted with Billy Strange. And we are going to be really deep into topics and getting into really good discussion about things in sim racing and involve the patron group on audio and involve your chat and all this. It's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be the Friday editions coming up at some point. We have some testing to do, but it is in the works and it is official. It's just a matter of the start date. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Anyway, the strangest thing, this advent calendar, you all know what an advent calendar is. You know, the days before Christmas, you open the box, you get a little toy token or piece of chocolate, whatever. I believe Fanatic did this last year as well, and they have a post here that's on the blog. Then there's another post here where you'll actually find some of the details, you know, at their Facebook page as well. Drawers, well, it's going to be different. You know, that's the thing. When you write, it's one thing how and what you say live. It's one thing what you say and how you say it when it's recorded. It's a whole other thing, in my opinion, when you're writing it. It will completely change things. So who knows? Who knows how it will come across, if he'll be the same Jimmy. It'll be very interesting. Laser, I missed something. What's altered now? I missed that, sorry. Anyway, so this event, this advent calendar is, like I said, it's a little strange. So some of the details are, it starts December 1st, so it's already going. The last code will appear on December 24th. That's Christmas Eve. 24 different products will be featured in the advent calendar, for each region different as well. The unique code for the product of the day will be displayed randomly on the product page of this product. A new code will go live each day at 1900 local time, EU, CET, AU, blah, blah, blah. There can be only one. There can be only one winner in every region each day. This is $35,000 worth of stuff, they say. The first one to enter the code wins. To complete the deal. So anyway, you can read this whole thing. It sounds like you have to like hang out at the Fanatic store, and at 1900 local time, you need to click at every item in the store until you find the magic item that has the code, and you have to be the first one to enter the code. Otherwise, it's been locked out. The winner not only will get that product, but they'll get 10 vouchers for 10% off. Anyway, very strange, interesting, but if you're looking for Fanatic gear, it might be worth the time if you're sitting at home clicking through the website. I believe I got the rules correctly. It's a little strange. So buyer beware, stalker of their website, beware. McLaren Shadow. Okay, so this was the big weekend, and I could go on and on and on about this, but I'm really not going to be going on and on and on. Code is then emailed to you. Jimmy already wrote for Drive Tribe. There you go. Thank you, Billy. Just catching up with George says Fanatic is cruel ASF. Lego Advent Calendars. There you go. I watched a little of Lego Batman last night. Love that movie. Anyway, so what we had going on, McLaren Shadow takeover at the MTC, prepping for their semifinal. It was semifinal weekend in a whole bunch of different disciplines in the McLaren Shadow semifinals. So anyway, 4 hours to go. Here are the 8 finalists. Chao Kazuki, Gregoire Foret, Miguel Ballester, Igor Fraga, Henrik Drew, Lass Wyman, Numa Natali, and Christian Nutsky. We know that name, but I can't say it. Sorry about that, Christian. Anyway, and then they went live over the weekend, so there they are at the McLaren headquarters with this really cool, look at this picture of the rigs. I love it. They went all out at McLaren headquarters. Everybody got down there in order to be part of it. They have the USA GP, Circuit of the Americas, in iRacing, and then they've got that video there. You've got the... that looks like iRacing. Yeah, that's the iRacing one, showing it from... I can't see whose view that is right there, but anyway, you can watch the Circuit of the Americas race at iRacing, obviously in the McLaren GT3. Anyway, and then they move on. So in that, Miguel Ballester won the race. Anyway, I could go on and on. We could be here all day talking about this. It's a win for Brazilian Igor Fraga, so he won the McLaren Shadow RFactor 2 competition. You've got the German GP at Hockenheim in Real Racing, which is going to spawn another winner, that one being Henrik Drew. The Belgian GP, Circuit de Spa Francorchamps in Forza 7. And did we have a winner there? There we go. Was it Henrik Drew on that one as well? Or was that, did I double up? Italian GP. Anyway, the whole thing played out this weekend. And something that is, again, one of the biggest deals in sim racing. And it's kind of different than the esport competition because to me, it's like kind of trying to search for the greatest sim racer using so many disciplines. And you know, people can say what they want about the guy coming in from like Real Racing or Forza even. You can make the argument comparing it to like the iRacing or RFactor 2 competition. But at the same time, you know, the cream always rises to the top. And who knows when you put them all together who the final victor will be. So, okay. So, little confession here. Confession time. I had been holding out for Oculus Rift to get to $350 before I was going to bother buying it. I love running in VR, don't get me wrong. But the pricing and knowing we're still waiting on that next gen to really be here where like you got the cards, you got the games acknowledging it, all the things are optimized to the max. I know we're still first gen. So I was really waiting for a price that I felt comfortable with, the Oculus, and that price point was $350. And it hit $350 and I passed because I had recently driven with a Vive Pro and I'm like, you know, that felt better to me on certain things. There are other things that I didn't like as much. But anyway, VR, Oculus Rift went on sale at Amazon and Best Buy for $330. And I was like, you know what? It was Brandon. Brandon pushed me. Brandon was like, you know, $330. Anyway, I'm so busy with stuff because, you know what? I'm trying to finish up my McLaren GT3 rim. I know, you know, I felt bad. This is like a really old rim at this point. All the new stuff, the podium, whatever. And then I also thought about it. This is the lightest wheel rim, lightest killer wheel rim you can get from Fanatec. And at the same time, it's the least expensive of the quality wheel rims with a good quick release. And I thought, you know, it still makes it extremely relevant. It's got cool features. Anyway, I should have this coming out tonight, the review on that wheel. That's actually Brandon's wheel. He sent it to me and let me, like, put my paws all over it. Steven, no, I went with Oculus. $330 was enough to get me, so I went down and bought one. So that's what made this a relevant story, is that I bought one. I haven't picked it up. It's sitting at the store waiting on me, but I've been too busy to run down there, and you have no idea how much self-control from a guy like me that is to have an Oculus sitting over there at my store like a block away, and I'm still sitting here working. So no VR, no Simpit. There you go, Sim Racing 604. I hear you there. What else? So this, you know, I've seen these videos on YouTube of like real robotic arms being used as a, you know, almost a roller coaster type ride. But anyway, apparently this is the real deal. Flip and roll 360 degrees in this ultimate VR gaming set. So if you were going to sim race and get in a crash, theoretically, I don't know if the physics would transmit into 360 degree rotational. Darren Ganji, you're here in the audience of Sim Experience. How would that play out? Could the sim flip us over, or is there a limitation on the output there? But can you imagine running in a simulator that would do that? And here's my other question. I got to be honest with you. I look at this. Would you sit in this? Would you strap your body in and trust that arm to not fail and just slam your face into the ground or something? What's that movie series where like you do it and everything's okay, and then at the last minute you die? I can't remember. My brain is mush. Anyway, somebody will know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I thought that was cool and worth talking about. In flight sims, yes. Hell yes. What else? I have some really cool footage of stuff from iAppa that man, I'm so far behind you guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. I need to be better. Yes, we could. You could flip us over. Dead and Buried. What's a fun and social VR game? Some bar fight is what Brandon wants me to do. So we might do some completely non-sim stuff just for the humor of it. That might be patron only. I don't know. Tristan, you'll have to find out tonight. You'll have to watch my review and decide. I've already reviewed the Formula Rim. You'll be able to compare that review to this wheel and what it can do. And Final Destination, thank you guys. Thank you very much. All right, I just mentioned this very quickly. It's at True Achievements, but it is a sim. It is a driving game. Official gameplay trailer for the Grand Tour game, which comes out on January 15th? Yeah, January 15th. So, new gameplay video. They're starting the new season right now. What a coinky dink that it's all timed together. Amazon Games, Amazon, production? Or certainly at least distribution of the show. But there you go. They have a video there. You can check that out. Grand Tour official gameplay trailer on YouTube. And if you're into that game, you might want to get it. Norman, because I preferred... I used the Odyssey, and I've used the Oculus, and I preferred the Oculus. So in that head-to-head, there's my answer there. The reason I didn't go with the Vive Pro is purely money. It's quite expensive compared to... that Oculus comes with the hand controllers and everything for that price. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. The beard is back. Yes, if I have to go to a trade show, they probably expect clean Sean. Other than that, I'm going with bearded Sean for a while again. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay, what else do we have? A couple little things just to motivate you guys or get you going if you're sitting there and not happy with your setup. There you go. You can invert your Thrustmaster pedals as easy as that. I think I've showed variations of doing something like that. But, it just takes a little bit of wood, a little bit of tie-downs or bolts, a little bit of ingenuity, and you can do great things with even the simplest of products. So there you go. Some inverted pedals to give you idea or motivation. There's a new Odyssey. Oh, it's okay, you guys. 330. I'm quite happy with my decision. We could go all day about first-gen VR, and maybe we'll do that in the future. Who knows? Maybe when I get really used to it, I'll become motivated and inspired, and I'll start doing more and more VR stuff. I don't know. But right now, it was there. It was available. And I worked with Oculus enough to know some of the tricks, and I know exactly what I'm going to get, and I know exactly how it integrates in the games that I want to play. So that was kind of where I was coming from, too. It was like, well, it's one that I've actually dealt with quite a bit. I just don't own one. Anyway, DIY rig. Look at this. This is like a Deathmobile, half a Deathmobile with just an IKEA chair. But look at that chair driving position. And look at his overall dimensions here. And I got to tell you, that's pretty darn close to like how I would build a rig. Maybe a little teeny tiny bit reclined. Maybe a little reclined for me, but maybe you just kind of make it a little lower, raise those pedals up in a little F1 version. I'm not sure. Order the podium today. Only time will tell, Chris. You know what? Bottom line, you can't go wrong with either. I mean, honestly, from what I've heard, I've used the sim experience extensively, and I'm very happy with it. At the same time, I've heard people have used the podium and are very happy with it, and, I'd expect a lot from Fanatec. So, anyway, you definitely went into the unknown, jumped on the first-gen podium versus what, you can know about a sim experience up front. Anyway, what else we have going on? This is a big deal. Nvidia Titan Rt X. So, everybody thought we knew what was going on. $2,500. $2,500. I bought an incredible racing road bike and spent a lot less than that. Well, half of that. $2,500 for an Nvidia Titan Rt X. I'm out. I can't do $2,500. Who's in? Who's gonna, Jesse? Con! Is this your next video card? And if so, do you want to sell your last video card, whatever it was? Anyway, Notify You is where we're at, so you can just get a pre-order, apparently, or a notification when they do become available. But the Nvidia Titan Rt X is going to be the king flagship, kick-ass. There can be only one video card, apparently. So like I said, I did a lot of racing over the weekend, had a good time. Not a lot. I did some good races over the weekend, 2 of them. But one of them, first one, was actually in the Simpit Truck Series. We had our final race of the season at New Hampshire. It was actually a really fun track. New Hampshire is a challenge. It's flat and it's big, and you really need to know what you're doing. You could do 2080 Ti SLI. Colin comes in with that. So not intrigued by that $2,500 price. I understand. Anyway, I want to congratulate Mark Mikowski because he did what he had to do yesterday, which was finish that race and not pull a DNF, because that's what it was going to take to hold on to the points over Billy Strange, who was having a very good night, I will say. So we had really good shootout right down to the end. Andrew Fayash won the final race of the season. Michael Thompson in second. Brian Grandin in third. Billy Strange, who did have a shot in the defending champ from last season, ended up finishing in 5th place. I finished in 7th. And Mark Brett Favre Mikowski, that's an inside joke. Sorry about that, the Brett Favre thing. But finished 13th, but it was good enough. And he was able to hold on to the points and is this season's champion in the Simpit Truck Series. Great job, Mark. Great season by you. Billy Strange finishing in 2nd, runner-up this year, and Joa Antonio finishing in 3rd. So great job to everybody. It was a really fun season, and I'm not sure what we're going to do with Friday nights. I'm certainly open to suggestions from the patron group or anybody who's contended in our series with us. Always looking for what we're going to do next. Not sure what I want to do, so you can always be of value there. Then on Sunday, man, we have, I'm just going to say it. I mean, people will cry and cry about the Mazda MX-5. It's slow, it's blah, 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 boo-hoo. I'm going to tell you, when it comes to door-to-door racing, better than anything I've done in sim racing, to be honest with you, it is the Global MX-5. It doesn't matter where I race that thing. It doesn't matter if it's just an open racing on iRacing. It doesn't matter. Remember when we ran it on sim racing systems? It was the same thing in Assetto Corsa. iRacing, Assetto Corsa, wherever you take this car, whatever series you run it in, it is the most intense fun racing you're going to do. And on Sunday at noon, we had another one of those races. We were at Okayama. As usual, George Sandman was just out of this world, and we were all just doing everything we could to stay with him. David Clymer, though, because of one bad race by George, is leading in the points. 332 points over George Sandman in second with 324. Nico Roman in third, who's also been doing very well this season and with 301. I find myself all the way back in 6th points, kind of out of it at this point, but still having a blast doing it. And I'm always a contender for a podium during the racing. But this Sunday, after all the mayhem that did go on, George Sandman won the race. David Clymer protecting that points lead, finished in second. Nico Roman in third. So top 3 at the top 3 once again. And I had a rough, awesome race. It was an awesome race with one moment that just kind of set me back. And then I clawed my way back to 10th, really. But Brandon, who I did have an incident with, actually pulled over and gave up a ton of spots in order to give me one position back. So thank you. That was very honorable and quite unnecessary. But it has just been fun. So I want to thank everybody who's been running in that series with us. We still have 3 more races to go. And then we're going to be trying to figure out what to do with that one as well. I'm not sure what we're going to do next season. Certainly taking suggestions, looking forward to next season or whatever we do together, mainly the patron group, and we make it open to everybody as well. But that is what's going on there. So lots more to come, including more endurance racing this season, which is getting going as well. And then finally, of course, tonight we'll have that Fanatec McLaren GT3 rim testing on the wheelbase, the Club Sport 2.5 wheelbase. And should have that out coming tonight, I hope, because I want to move on to other things. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. We will not be here tomorrow. So no Tuesday, no Thursdays for the pit stop. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and soon to come Sim Tunnel with Billy Strange, myself, and maybe even guests and you guys as well on Fridays for the special edition of the pit stop. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Get out there, do some racing, have some fun. This is the Sim Pit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.